The title of this presentation is Lexical Stress Assignment and Reading Skills of Russian Heritage Children. So heritage speakers are bilinguals in home and dominant language. They have more familiar cultural motivation and connection to the former minority or immigrant language and are more proficient in the latter society language. The aims of this research, so the present studies focus on language proficiency and literacy skills of Russian, Cypriot, Greek bilingual children, Russian heritage speakers, children of the first generation immigrants living in Cyprus. The dominant society language is Cypriot Greek, while their home weak minority language is Russian. They have limited exposure to Russian only at home and low level of schooling in Russian, only 1-2 hours of Russian lessons per week, Saturday school. So here you can see the Republic of So the linguistic situation in Cyprus can be described as diglossic, bidialectal, or bilactal. There are two varieties that are used by Greek Cypriot populations, Mnemonic Greek and Cypriot Greek. And it can also characterize as multilingualism, as there are Cypriot minorities such as Latin Maronite who live in Cyprus, residents of British origin, immigrants from various countries of Eastern Europe, Asia, and especially the former Soviet Union. Russian community in Cyprus is considered to be the largest foreign language group. There are three main types: temporary residents, tourists, or business people who use mainly Russian at home and Russian or English or some other European language on a daily basis, but not Greek; members of mixed marriage families, mainly with a Russian woman and a Greek Cypriot man, and bilingual Russian Cypriot Greek children; and members of immigrant families where mostly both partners are Russian who aim for long-term residence in Cyprus, so they speak Russian at home and English or Greek outside. So in terms of home language maintenance and transmission, we used reading questionnaires and we investigated the answers of 60 adult females who are the parents of bilingual Russian Cypriot Greek children. So the analysis of the data revealed that female adults, members of mixed marriage families, have either Russian or mixed Russian Cypriot Greek cultural and linguistic identity. As for home language maintenance, nearly all of them try to teach their children Russian at home and send their children to Russian lessons where they can learn to write and read in. So we had two phases of the study. So for the first study, we had 28 simultaneous bilingual children. There were 13 boys and 15 girls born in Cyprus. Their father Cypriot Greek and mother Russian. So the age ranges from 4 to 11 years old, and they come from the first and fourth grade. So they were randomly recruited from pre-primary and primary schools in Larnaca area, urban and rural. For the second study, we had 39 simultaneous bilingual children, Russian Cypriot Greeks, 17 boys and 22 girls. They were born in Cyprus, father Cypriot Greek and mother Russian. They were recruited from public Saturday Russian school in Larnaca in school year 2015-2016. You can see their division of grades, their number, their mean age, and their gender. In terms of methodology, the participants were tested on a large battery of tests. The language proficiency in Cypriot Greek and Russian were measured with the help of diagnostic verbal IQ tests, likely adapted to Cypriot Greek, and the Russian proficiency test for multilingual children. Besides the test, a detailed questionnaire on language input, situation, linguistic and extra-linguistic development of a child was used. Several tests on executive functions were implemented: digit span test, word span test, fluency test, Raven's matrices. Cypriot Greek and Russian oral production data was used obtained via elicited storytelling, and we measured their speech rate, number of words per minute. For the second study, bilingual children heritage speakers of Russian were measured on their reading and writing skills in Russian every month for a period of 1 year. And longitudinal data consists of the reading corpus of dictations and oral corpus of reading aloud recordings. So oral Russian spontaneous and elicited speech production of their mothers is also under investigation, and this allows to reveal the native baseline Russian and the actual input that the children receive. The Russian language proficiency test for multilingual children examines the following language domains: productive and receptive lexicon for verbs and nouns, production of morphological marking on verbs and nouns, and comprehension of grammatical constructions on the sentence level. The diagnostic verbal IQ test investigated the following aspects of linguistic development: lexicon production and comprehension, morphology and syntax production, comprehension of metalinguistic concepts, comprehension of morphology, and sentence repetition. We also used the word finding test and the Cypriot object and action test. We also implemented digit span, backward and forward repetition of list of digits, and fluency test. We also used elicited spontaneous oral production, storytelling by mothers and their children in Cypriot Greek and Russian, and we tested their speech rate, number of words per minute. Moving to results. The analysis of the results showed that bilingual children had better receptive skills rather than productive. Lingual children scored higher on receptive skills rather than on productive skills. It is possible that certain morphosyntactic structures are yet to come online for production despite excellent receptive morphosyntactic skills. It was found that bilingual children scored higher on receptive skills rather than productive skills regarding DVIQ test, and the analysis of lexicon production for Greek DVIQ bilingual children showed that their overall production for nouns was slightly better than for verbs. In terms of speech rate, number of words per minute in oral production, bilingual children were better in terms of Cypriot Greek rather than in Russian. So overall, bilingual children heritage speakers of Russian showed better performance in Greek Cypriot Greek than Russian in terms of language proficiency level, speech rate, fluency, perceptive skills were better rather than productive skills. They had better performance in terms of nouns rather than verbs, and in terms of code and ROAT naming tests, they had slightly better production performance in terms of verbs rather than nouns. So in terms of reading speed, words per minute, a measure of words processed in a minute, bilingual Russian Cypriot Greek children were asked to read the text, so the data was recorded, transcribed, and analyzed. You can see their results, mean production per grade. Overall, their reading speed is lower than L1 Russian monolingual norms. So most frequent word stress errors are penultimate instead of final, penultimate instead of antepenultimate, final instead of penultimate. Most of the errors have are in 3 and 2 syllable words, mostly nouns. These nouns are mainly non-frequent words. Bilingual children might not fully understand the meaning of these words due to limited input to the Russian language and culture. There seems to be a correlation regarding reading speed and stress errors. The lower is the stress error rate, the higher is the reading speed. Lexical in Greek, unpredictable by phonological criteria such as syllable weight or vowel quality independent and lexical specifications that it is restricted by a 3-syllable window. Stress can fall on any of the last 3 syllable, final, penultimate, and antepenultimate syllable, but not on any other syllable of the word. Stress errors of bilingual Russian Cypriot Greek children fall within final, penultimate, antepenultimate syllables range only. This could be due to L1 transfer from Cypriot Greek, and of course we need future research elicitation task with 4, 5, 6 syllable words. Stress assignment in Russian is strongly central. Stress syllable is pronounced with more prominence in comparison to other syllables. Syllables can have various degree of vowel intensity and length depending on the stress syllable. So there are numerous irregularities because Russian orthography does not represent vowel reduction in unstressed position. In Russian orthography, stress is marked only in dictionaries and books for beginners, and skilled readers have to assign stress based on their linguistic competence. The phonemic structure of a Russian word depends on stress assignment, so errors in stress assignment can change word meaning and can lead to problems in comprehension. Stress in Russian is free. It can fall on any syllable in a word, and it also mobile. It can move to another syllable. Stress mobility has morphological motivation, shifted in word formation and inflection. Writing in Russian is assayed from pronunciation, but only at certain points, such as morphemic boundaries, absolute end of the word for consonant, and inside the morphemes for vowels. Stress assignment in Russian is unpredictable, and the readers need to have well-developed visual anticipation ability, but beginner readers have problem with it as they focus mainly on the sequential phonological reading. Difficulties in the development of phonological awareness are related to reading acquisition in Russian due to irregularities of grapheme-phoneme correspondence in Russian. Russian orthography does not reflect all language-specific features of Russian morphology and phonology. Overall, there is a developmental pattern with respect to reading speed and orthographical accuracy, reading dictations, improvement of reading and writing skills from the 2nd to the 5th grade with increase of schooling exposure and input. Age, school, and gender affect the development of reading and writing skills for bilingual children. There is correlation between reading and writing skills. With respect to type of errors in terms of dictations, they are developmental and due to cross-linguistic influence from Cypriot Greek and from English, due to phonemic misanalysis, difficulties with sound letter correspondence, lack of knowledge and comprehension of a particular Russian word. In terms of types of errors, the main types were substitution and omission of letters, insertion of syllables, use of wrong vowels in stress and stress position. The bilingual children do not distinguish between U and sh letter sounds, as U and sh letter sounds are not present in Cypriot Greek. The mid-soft sign with consonants in the ending of the verbs. They do not distinguish between vowels R and O in stressed and unstressed position, prefixes, voiced and voiceless consonants. Bilingual children tend to write words the way they pronounce them, violating Russian orthography rules. Some children tend to use Greek or English orthography rules and Since nowadays multilingualism is regarded as a true advantage, literacy in various languages is crucial for academic achievement, employment, and income prospects, in short, for well-being in the society. Literacy of bilingual Russian Cypriot Greek children depends on the social-linguistic background of their families, mainly on the social identity of their parents and their attitudes towards the multiple languages. Parents' identity becomes a bridge from the social context of the child's first language maintenance and second language acquisition and use. Results of the Russian proficiency test on multilingual children and DVIQ show that bilingual children in Cyprus have higher scores for perceptive skills than productive skills and show developmental pattern with age for production and receptive skills, reading and writing skills. gap between comprehension and production in bilingual children can be due to multilingualism and bilingualism effect. It may be the evidence of passive bilingualism, as bilingual children may have higher level of comprehension in both languages and higher level of production only in the dominant one. Comprehension precedes production in lexical development. Bilingual children lag behind monolinguals with respect to productive skills, but perform comparatively to monolinguals with respect to comprehension or receptive skills. The gap between production and comprehension can be eliminated with more exposure to both languages and more output in both languages. Semantic development is influenced by input, while morphosyntax is affected by both input and output. More research is needed to inform the parents and the authorities about the importance of a balanced bilingual development of a child without forgetting a heritage or minority.